We,
Oh, you get my pick.
To New Haven Communications. My name is Thomas Maynard. Today we are going on a tour of the Allis Bushnell house in Madison, Connecticut. The house is open every Wednesday throughout the year from 1 to 3 p.m. The house is also open on occasion for special events, talks, and exhibits. Public tours are given on Connecticut Open House Day in early June and on the fourth Sunday in November following Thanksgiving. Let's get into it.
It has a lot of Cornelius Bushnell items in it. And this is a model of the monitor. It's a museum quality. The same guy who built this one built the one that's in the Smithsonian. And he said ours is better because the turret can turn. And this was the Merrimack, the Confederate ship that these two fought over each other. How come, it depends on where you live.
Mm-hmm. In the south, it's one thing, and in the north, it's somewhere else.
Yeah, neither ship prevailed. They didn't sink one. Yeah. But the Merrimack, this ship, went back upriver towards Richmond and never came down the river again. It protected Richmond, but it didn't come down the river. And meanwhile, the Monitor went out and protected other harbors. And with that design, they made, I think, 11 more of them during the Civil War. I didn't realize that. And then after the Civil War, they made a very similar design, but had two turrets. And this ship, in order to aim the cannon, you had to turn the ship.
That was a very unique design.
So this only had two cannon, but they could be fired in any direction, anytime. This part of the house was built in the later 1800s. But where you are now was, look at the little sign on the, what's it say over there? This is Hart's tea room. This was a tea room. And during women's vote meetings were held here. So this was a gathering place for people supporting the women's vote. So you've heard of Daniel Hand.
I think we certainly have.
Okay. All right. Well, Daniel was, he grew up in Madison, not in this house. But I think when he was 15 or 17, when he went down south to Georgia to help his uncle's business down there, which was selling farm equipment and things like that. And then when his uncle died, he took it over and took on a partner. And he and his partner made it a very successful business. It was like the biggest trader of those kind of things before the Civil War. When the Civil War broke out, Daniel didn't want to be down there. He didn't support the rebel cause. He started to come north and got arrested by the Confederates as a spy. They thought he was a northern spy. So they put him in Libby prison. And Libby prison was a terrible, terrible prison camp that was, it was made for like 5,000 people and had 30,000 people in there. The stories of that place is just terrible. And but somehow his partner got him out of that, but he had to stay down south and away from any political thing. So he went to some place up in North Carolina and stayed there. After the war, he came north and ran his partner's business up here, and they became very wealthy. But Daniel would not go down south. He would.
That was it. I don't blame him.
So he stayed up
They
here.
have that problem still the same.
And his partner, they communicated by letters and telegrams, I imagine. But finally, when I think Daniel was in his 80s, when his partner came north with all his share of the business and gave him the proceeds of that and made him the richest man in America at
that time. Wow.
Yeah. So, and Daniel knew he was well off, but he didn't know he was that well off. And he gave a lot of the money to the National Negro Fund, I think it was called then. And in his write-up, it says it's for the advancement and education of previously enslaved people. He didn't mention their race, just previously. And he gave the town of Madison about $1 million, equivalent of $1 million, which was the biggest, the other gift was the biggest gift ever to any organization, philanthropic gift. And then he gave this town $1 million, which went to the building a few doors, well, you passed it, it's downtown, the Lee Academy.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you were, and then he made the hand school.
Yes.
And
That's
while
right.
I'm going through all this, he also gave all these books, he like funded his own school. And every book in here is signed by him.
That's quite a collection. Many historical houses, you don't see a collection like this.
Yeah,
And that well kept.
Yeah.
You do see them, that's
Yeah.
even the book bindings are incredible.
so it's, these books are not something,
Let me see that temple.
they're old now, but
Precious.
That's a nice collection.
it's really neat that we have, they're all numbered. He numbered each book, and there's some missing, but we have, an awful lot of it.
And the binding.
Battery's a little low on
That
it.
looks pretty good though. You got it.
Some people think that's a creepy picture, but it's really fascinating. Both those people are Mungers, and they both lived. Catherine and George Munger, and our historian would say, "Well, you sure they lived? Because a downturned rose and a broken toy means you die."
Ah,
I haven't heard that before.
Yeah.
So that's
Well, we looked
symbolic.
into that, and we know those people lived because we have other things from them. And the story, though, is that the little boy in white, that's a boy, his mother died a month after he was born.
So maybe that's the
So that's
symbolic
what the
nature.
symbolism was.
Got it. And you wouldn't know that. I haven't heard that before.
Yeah. And then this guy here, we just got, this was recently donated to us. His name is He-Man, like the He-Man?
Mhm.
He-Man Tyler. He was a captain of ships that sailed out of Haddam. And his
Okay.
whole family was over there. So if you go to Haddam, they have all kinds of stories about that. Architectural people are really fascinated by this house in general. It has 4 fireplaces, I didn't point that out, and they're all at an angle to the room. And supposedly that made the room warmer because the heat would go out.
Sure.
Rather than being kind of like focused down the room, it had to go out in the room.
I don't.
So you come in here, now we're in the old part, and this is the original floor. And that's the original kitchen. And those are, at least some of the iron things in there are authentic to the house. This is a lamp.
yes.
Ah, yeah. And that was whale oil, maybe?
Yeah, you put animal fat, anything that would burn,
Got it.
with a little string that would come out and hang here, and the string would suck up the oily stuff and make a little flame. The house
spread.
became a 2-family house, and this was the other kitchen. And then I like to point this thing out because I could never imagine what this was for.
Jenny, come in.
I saw them first like this. What in the world is that?
That is.
A wall?
It's got to be for.
Here close.
What is it?
A wall or a thread?
Here's the same thing in a little portable example,
Okay.
and it was for making ribbon.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I didn't catch the ribbon under the
Yeah.
wall.
That we've never seen.
It's
Very nice.
unique. I'm glad you have that as an example because it was hard
Yes.
to visualize.
Couldn't envision. I
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
envision it.
Yeah,
They were very clever. I can't imagine how they. I guess when you have no internet, no TV, and very few books and no light,
You're probably better off.
yeah.
you're stuck getting creative.
It's really creative. Oh, that's really wonderful.
So I think that's the end of the tour.
Thank you for watching today's tour on the Allis Bushnell House in Madison, Connecticut. For more information, you can visit the museum website, which is linked in the description. Please feel free to check out our other videos, such as Fall Fest, Day 1 and 2, Ice Cream at the Golf House, Parts 1 and 2, The Vintage Radio and Communications Museum series, episodes 1 through 4, and Snapseed Basics. We'll see you next time.
We really appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, we
Especially
really.
when you didn't expect it.
We're all
Yes.
I
saying,
was the latest I talked to.
look at it and say, oh my God, it was Wednesday, not Thursday.
Yeah.